So today we are going to discuss about the loops, function, data types, and few problem solving. Okay, on the topics like loop and different data structures. Okay, fine. So today we'll discuss about the Python data types, whatever data types are left for this class, and then we'll go to the conditions and loops. Loops in Python. So let me see what all things we have covered. So we have seen the dictionary data structure, set data structure, tuple, list, and string, and then integer, float, complex, and Boolean data structures, right? So next we have range, frozen set, bytes, and byte arrays. So let's discuss about the range function. So range function, basically it is used to create a sequence of some numbers, right? So let's say if you want to generate a sequence of numbers, so there is a number line, right? So we know that on the left hand side we have minus infinity, on the then we have 0 in the middle, and then we have plus infinity, 0 and then plus infinity, right? So this is the number line. And then if you'll talk about, let's say if you want to generate a sequence of numbers from left to right, okay? So if you want to generate a sequence of numbers from left to right, then your there is a something called step size. Your step size should be positive, okay? You should take a step size which should be positive. Okay. Whereas if you want to generate the numbers from right to left, then your step size should be negative. Okay. If you want to generate this set of numbers from right to left, then your step size should be negative. So the syntax of the range function is, first of all, you have to give this start, then this step value. So I'm talking about this step value. It should be positive or it should be negative. Okay. If it is positive, then it is going to generate a sequence of number in this direction. And if it is negative, then it is going to generate a sequence of number in this direction. So let's say if you have to generate the sequence of number from 0 to 10, so your step size should be positive. Minus 10 to plus 10, step size should be positive, right? Minus infinity to plus infinity, step size should be positive. If you want to generate a sequence of number from 0 to minus 10, then your step size should be negative. If you want to generate the sequence of number from plus 10 to minus 10, this is right to left, so step size should be negative. And plus infinity to minus infinity, your again step size should be negative. So this is about this step size. Apart from that, you can take this step value as plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, or minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, right? So whatever step size you are going to take, the values in the sequence will be spaced with the same amount of numbers. For example, let's say if I want to generate a sequence of numbers starting from 0 to 10, create a sequence of number, a sequence of numbers from 0 to 10, right? If you want to create a sequence of number from 0 to 10, then you will be using the range function, right? And this is positive, right? You will be using range, and then you want the sequence of numbers from 0 to 10. So 0 is your start value, stop value is 10, and step value is 1. I want to generate the sequence of number for each number, right? I've not mentioned any step size. It means I want to take each number into the consideration. So when you will execute this, it is going to return you a range object. If you want to see the values inside this range object, then you can keep it inside the list function, and then it will give you the all the numbers inside this. So if you will see this start value is inclusive in the sequence, and this stop value is not inclusive, it is exclusive. Means if you will, whatever stop value it is you are going to give, it will generate a sequence of number till the stop value minus 1. So if you are giving 10, it will generate till 10 minus 1, that is 9. If you give 9, it will generate 9 minus 1, that is 8. If you write 100, so it will generate till 99. Okay, so stop value is not inclusive, it will generate the sequence of number till the stop value minus 1. Okay. Now let's say if you will be writing, so similarly, if you will be writing here the range function, but now if you are writing here 2 plus 2, it is positive value. So it is going to generate a sequence of number where the numbers will be equally spaced by 2. So first number will be 0, then second number will be 2, then third number will be 4, then fourth number will be fourth number will be 6, and so on. So if you will execute this, you will get this number 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's say if you will write plus 3, then so it will generate a sequence of number where each value will be spaced 3 numbers, right? So it will be having 3 equally spaced values. So 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 3 to 6 to 9, right? So this is the step size. Now let's say if you are going to generate a sequence of number in the negative direction, right? So for example, let's say if I'll be writing range, and here I'll be writing plus 10, minus 10, and then you are going, or let's say plus 10 to 0. It is right to left, right? And if you'll be taking this step size as minus 1, then it is going to generate a sequence of number from right to left, right? So 10, this is the start value. This is inclusive. 0, it is not inclusive. So it will generate till 1 value which is coming before 0. So it will generate till 1. And minus 1 will be the step size, means it is right to left, and 1 means the step size will be 1. So 10, 9, 8, 7 and all. So if you will keep this inside the list function, you will see that it is generating the sequence of number till 1. So basically whatever steps stop value you are going to give, so before that stop value, whatever number is coming, till that number, it will generate the sequence of numbers, right? So I should not say minus 1, but it will not include that value. It will consider till the value which is previous to that stop value. Okay, so here if I write minus 2, then it will generate 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and then it will not include 0. So 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Let's say if I'll be writing minus 3, then so if you will be writing minus 3, then here you are going to get 10, 7, 4, 1, and so on. Okay, yes, video will be available on the internet, means on YouTube. Okay, so this is the range function. Hope you guys have understood this. So what is the significance of this minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and plus 1, plus 2, and plus 3? Okay, see, default value of step is plus 1. If you are not going to mention, then by default it is going to generate a sequence of numbers. So here I'll write 0, 10. So it is going to generate a sequence of number from 0 to 10. Okay, no, you cannot put a float number. It is not allowed. Okay, so 0 to 10 by default step size will be 1. So if you will execute it, sorry, list of range. So now you will see that by default it is taking this step size as plus 1. So the default value of step size is plus 1. You can also use range function by just passing one value. So if you will pass list of range of 10, if you pass just one value, then it will consider it as a stop value. Default start value will be 0 and default step size will be 1. So if you will execute it, it will give you the same result. Okay. So again, start is 0, step is 1, and step size is plus 1. Right. So this is the range function. Okay. So this is about the range function. Then we have frozen set. We have seen this set already, right? We have frozen set also. So what frozen set does? Frozen set is the immutable set, right? So we have seen, no, we cannot put a float number in the range. So let's say if we have S is equal to, set is a collection of unique number 1, 2, 3, 10, 100, 10, 1, 10, 20, 10, right? So if you will print S here, execute this, we have got the unique numbers, right? We have got the unique numbers here. Now, let's say if I want to create, so this set is mutable. If I want to add some value inside this set, so I can add the value. Okay. So if I'll be writing here print S, you will see that 111 is added inside this set. If I want to remove some value, so I can remove the value S dot remove. Let's say I'll be writing. So you will see that this one will be removed from this set. Okay. And when we say mutable, it means the changes will be made to the existing set object. So if you are checking S, print s comma id of s before the operation and after the operation, the id is going to remain same. Okay. So if you see, the ID remains constant throughout the operation, whether you are adding the element, whether you are removing the element, does not matter. ID remains same. It means it is making the changes to the existing object, and we are able to make the changes to that set object, right? Whereas if you take the frozen set, let's say fs, if you'll take, so set, and I'll be passing s to this. So if I'll be writing print fs comma type of fs, so it is going to give me that it is a frozen set, right? It is a frozen set. What do you mean by frozen set? So you cannot add any value inside the frozen set. If you try to add 111 or let's say 222, it will give you the error. Attribute error. Frozen set object has no attribute called add. You cannot add or remove the values from the immutable object. Like list is a mutable object, tuple is an immutable object, right? So you cannot add or remove the values from the tuple and the frozen set because they are immutable data type. Whereas list and dictionary are mutable data types, so you can add and remove the values from the list and dictionary. Okay, so this is about the frozen set. Next data structure, we are having the bytes and byte arrays. They are used to store the information into the binary format. We don't use this data structure quite regularly, but yes, these all are the data structure. So you should know that whenever you want to do some operation related to some binary data, for example, image and all, so you will be using these bytes and byte arrays. Not regularly, you can, without using them also, you can do the operation on them using the concept of arrays. Okay, so this bytes and byte arrays, we don't use it in industry, so you can ignore that, not required about them. Okay, so this is about the different data types. Next, we have conditional statements and loops. Okay, so first let's start with the conditional statement. In the conditional statement, we have three types of conditional statement. One, we can use only if, or you can use if else, or you can use if, elif, else. Okay, these all are the three conditional statements. So we use if else or conditional statement whenever you want to make some decision in your life. For example, let's say if the student is getting more than average marks, then you should print that student is passed. Or if the student is getting lower than the average mark, then you should print fail, right? So you can take the if and else condition. So in programming, you have to do a lot of this kind of decision making, right? So let's say you have to categorize a data. You have a data set where you have two columns. Okay, one side you have the employee salary, and in one column you have the male and female, right? So you want to segregate the data based on the gender. So if male, it is 1, if female, it is 0. So if male, then you will be keeping the data in a different data set, and if it is female, then you will be keeping the data in a different data set. So if that is the condition, then you have to check what is the value of the gender column. If gender is equal to 1, then you will be keeping that data set in a different object or into a different data. And if it is 0, if gender equal to 0, then you will be segregating that separately, correct? So this is a kind of decision you have to make quite regularly, and whenever you have to make a decision, you have to use the conditional statement. So you can use this conditional statement in three ways, as I said: if else, or if else. If you have only one condition to check, then you can use if. Let's say if you have two conditions to check, either this or this, then you can go for if else. If you have multiple conditions to check, so let's say if this condition is satisfied, let's say condition 1 is satisfied, then it's fine. Execute a block of code. If it is false, then check one more condition. Then you should go for elif. Okay. Let's say if that is also false, then check one more condition. Then again write one more elif. Okay. So basically, let's say for one condition, you will be writing if condition. And if this is evaluated as true, then you will be writing statements here to execute, right? So this is for one condition. Let's say if you have two conditions, so either one condition will be true or the other condition will be true. For two conditions, okay. So you can go for if condition. Otherwise, if this condition is false, then you have to execute. Okay, you have to execute this, right? And let's say if you have multiple conditions to check, if you have multiple conditions to check, then you can use if condition, statement 2, statement 3. And if condition 1, this is condition 2. Statement 4, statement 5, statement 6. Elif, condition 3. Statement 7, statement 8, statement 9. And else, let's say if none of these conditions meet, then you go statement 10, statement 7, statement 12. Okay, so if any of these conditions are going to meet, let's say if this condition is evaluated as true, then it will execute statement 1, 2, and 3. If condition 1 is false and condition 2 is true, then it will execute statement 4, 5, 6. If condition 1 is false, condition 2 is false, condition 3 is true, then it will execute statement 7, 8, 9. And if all the conditions are false, then it will execute else block. Okay, so this is the default block. Here, if this condition is true, then it will execute this. If this condition is false, then it will execute this. In this case, you have only this condition. So this condition has to be evaluated as true. If it is false, then nothing, it will do nothing. Correct. So this is the syntax of the if else elif, and you can keep on writing this elif. There is no any limit. Okay, how many elif you can write? There's no such limit. Okay, but here you have if else, here you have if. Okay, so let's try to do some problem on this. Okay, first of all, write a program to okay, so there is an input function. If you want to take the input from the user, then you can take the input, you can use the input function. Okay, so taking input from user. Okay, so I'll be taking a number. Let's say I'm going to take a number and I'm going to check whether that number is even or odd. So I'll be writing num is equal to int input number. Okay, so if you're going to take a number, you have to do this typecasting to the int function. Why you have to do this typecasting to the int function? Because this input function converts every data to the string type. So you have to convert that into the integer because you want to do the operation on the integer value. Number is even or odd, you will be checking on the integer value only, right? So we have taken this number, then I'll be checking here if num percentile 2 equal to 0, then I'll be printing num is even. Num is even, right? Else I will be printing num is odd. Okay, or I'll not do anything. So if it is even, then print even, otherwise don't do anything. So let's execute this code. I'll be entering 9. It is doing nothing because we have not written any else block. So this condition is false. No, num percentile 2, what is this operation? When you divide a number by 2, so this operation is going to give you the remainder. So let's say if you'll be writing 9 percentile 2, it is going to give you remainder as 1. Okay, so 1 equal to 0, this condition is false. You are comparing, you are saying 1 is equal to 0. This condition is false. Since this condition is false, so it is not printing this. Let's say now if I'll write 8. So 8 percentile 2, if you write 8 percentile 2, this is going to give you remainder as 0, because when you divide a number by 2, even number by 2, then it gives you the remainder as 0. So when you will execute this, you are getting remainder as 0. So in this case, let's say if I'll execute this code again and if I'll print 8, then it is going to give that 8 is even. Right? So what happened? This condition evaluated as true, and then we got this output as number is even. Right? So if that is the case, then what you need to do is take 3 numbers from the user, take 3 numbers, or take 2 numbers from the user, find which one is greater. Okay. Similarly, what you need to do, take 3 numbers from the user and find which one is greater. We are writing this. This is called string formatting. Okay. So basically, let's say if you have a number A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, C is equal to A plus B. Okay, print. So what I want to do, I want to print the sum of 10 and 20 is 30. So I'll be writing here the sum of 20 is 30. Okay, execute this, we are getting this. But what if this number is changed? Then your output is not going to change. Again, you have to make the changes to this output. So why can't we make it dynamic? So to make it dynamic means to say, so if this A and B values are changing and C values are changing, then it will automatically update here. So we will use string formatting. So we will write F in the beginning. Wherever you want to replace the value, you will write small middle bracket. Okay. So here you have written middle bracket. And here also we'll write middle bracket. And inside these middle brackets, whatever value you want to replace, you will write that variable A, B, and C. Right? Now execute this. So it does not matter what you will do here. It will automatically replace those values, right? This is called string formatting. Okay. Clear, everyone? So you guys can just do this two problems. Take two numbers from the user and find which one is greater. Similarly, take three numbers from the user and find which one is greater. So this F is called this string formatting. If you want to format your string, then you can use this F in the beginning of any string. Wherever you want to replace the value, you write those variables inside the middle bracket. Those values will automatically be replaced. Okay. So let's try these two problems. First of all, we have to take two numbers to check with which one is greater, right? So I'll be taking number 1 is equal to int input enter first number, right? And then I'll be taking the second number from the user. Similarly, num2 enter second number, right? And then I'll be writing here if num1 greater than num2, then I'll be printing num1 f num1 is num2. Otherwise, else I'll be printing num2 is greater than num1. Right? Execute this code, enter 100, enter 10. 100 is greater than 10, right? Now execute 10 and 100. 100 is greater than 10. So num2 is greater than num1, right? So this is the code. Similarly, if you want to write the code for checking which number is greater out of three numbers, then you can use this one. Num3. Okay. Now in this, I will be using the logical operators. So I have to check num1 is greater than num2. Then I also have to check. So if I want to print num1 is greater than num2 and num3, it means I have to compare num1 with num2 and num3 both. So I'll be writing here, and num1 is greater than num3. So if num1 is greater than num3, so I'll be printing num1 is greater than num2 and num3. Right? Okay. Next, I'll be writing elif. Elif, let's say if num2 is greater than num3. So now I don't have to check num1 with num2 because that check I already have done. So if let's say either this condition is false or this condition is false, anyhow num1 is not going to be greater. And we have already done the comparison of num1 with num2. So now I have to check whether num2 is greater than num3 or not. Only that condition is left. So if this condition is true, then I'll be printing num2 is greater than num1 and num3. Right? Otherwise, what I'll be printing? I'll be printing num3 is greater than num1 and num2. Right? Execute this, enter 100, 10, 90. So 100, 10 and 9. So 100 is greater than 10 and 9. Execute right here 100, 1000 and 90. Sorry, 100, 1000, 90. Right? So 1000 is greater than 190. So 100, 10 and 1000. So 1000 is greater than 110. Right? Clear? So you have written this code. So what we have used if, elif and else here. Right? Correct? So if that is the case, can you guys write the code, write a program which takes a number from 1 to 12 and prints the corresponding month in words. Okay. For example, if it is 1, so it will print January. If it is 12, it will print December. If it is 8, then it will print August. So you have to print that. Use only if else, if elif else. Okay. Try this. Yes, elif or else. It is elif. You don't have to write else if. It is elif. Is it done? Is it done, guys? If elif month, yes, kind of that. So I'll give you the code. Okay, so this is the code. This file will be uploaded so you guys can check. So now, let's say if I'll execute this code. So I will enter any number. Let's say if I'll enter 9, so it is going to give me September. If I'll enter, let's say 12, it is going to give me December. So you write any number between this range, it will give you the corresponding month. If you write any number outside of this range, it will print this. That number is outside of the range. So if you guys have understood this, let's try the last question. So you have to calculate the monthly telephone bill. Okay. You have to calculate the monthly telephone bill based on this condition. So calculate monthly telephone bill. If calls per month is 100, then bill amount is 200. If it is exceeding, so from 101 to 150, it will be charged 100 paise per call. From 151 to 200, it will be charged 50 paise per call. From 201 to 250, it will be charged 25 paise per call. And then 251 plus calls, if you'll make any call, then it will be charged 20 paise per call. Okay, so you have to calculate the total bill for 757 calls. Okay, 757 calls made in a month. So you have to calculate total bill. What is the total bill amount? Are you guys trying this? So shall I write the code? One more minute. So try this, give me the code, otherwise I will start writing the code. Okay. So what we what we need to do is we need to check whether the calls made in a month are equal to 100 or not. So first condition is that. So we will be writing here if calls per month is equal to 100, right? Then the bill amount is going to be what? 200 rupees, right? So we'll be writing the bill amount is 200 rupees, correct? So bill amount is 200 rupees. So if I'll execute this and if I have written 100, if I have entered the total number of calls is equal to 100, then it is going to be 200 rupees, right? Okay. Next, what we have, let's say if it is not 100, if it is more than 100, then it will give you error, right? So I'll be writing here elif. Elif, now I have to check whether calls per month are greater than and equal to 101, and calls per month are less than and equal to 150, right? If this condition is satisfied, then what I need to do? I need to write here print bill amount is rupees. So here 200 plus. So calls per month, you have to write here calls per month. Calls per month minus 100, right? So whatever, let's say if it is call made in a month are 110. Calls per month are 110. So it will be 10. It will be 10 calls only. You will be multiplying by 1 rupee, right? Correct. So this is the bill. Next, let's say if you want to make a call which is between 151 to 200, right? Which is between 151 to 200. Then you are going to write here calls. Here you will be writing 50. Plus 50 into 1, okay, and calls per month minus 150 into 50 paise, right? So 0.5. Okay. Now let's say if your call made per month is between 200 and 1, and 251. Sorry, 250, right? So bill amount is 50 into 0.5 and plus calls per month minus 200, 0.25, right? And apart from that, let's say if the calls made are extra than that, right? So whatever calls you will make here, if it is extra than this 250, right? Then you'll be writing print bill amount is here I'll be writing less than and equal to 100. So I'll be writing here again. So 50 into 0.25, okay, and calls per month minus 250, whatever, you will be multiplying it by 20%, correct? Fine. So if you will execute this, you are going to enter here, let's say 757, okay, it will give you 388.9, and if you enter, let's say 90, it is going to give you 200. Fine. Clear? Any question to there? Any question, guys? Okay. So I hope you guys have understood the concept of conditional statement, if, elif, and else, right? Now let's come to the loop. Okay. Loop. So loop is used in Python to execute a code or piece of code repeatedly. Correct? So let's say if I want you guys to print hi 10 times, then what option you have? You can print this 10 times, right? So it will be printing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 10 times. It is printing 10 times. But this is repetitive code, right? Repetitive code is a kind of crime in programming. You should not repeat your code. So if you want to write this same code, what you can do, you can use loop. So loop, when you use loop, it will keep on executing a code or piece of code until and unless a condition is satisfied, or until unless a condition is dissatisfied. In fact, if may use yes, you can use if, nested if also, now kush, both now and kush both are. Okay, great. So you can use nested if also. That's a different concept. Okay, so like you can explore. See, this is just 4-hour of session. I cannot discuss everything, but if you have the idea, you can explore those things, right? You can use nested if also. So if anyone wants to explore nested if, that is simple concept. You can write if inside if. Okay. So here I have written one condition. I can write it inside the nested if also. Not an issue. Okay, fine. So I hope, okay, so we were discussing loops. Huh? Loop are mainly of two types. Okay, there is for loop and another loop is called the while loop. Okay, so where we use for loop, where we use while loop, see, if number of iterations are known, then we use for loop, and if number of iterations are not known, then generally we use while loop. That is not the right question, Shiva, isn't it? Right now, correct? So please ask the question related to the topic. Okay, those questions will be taking in a different sessions. So these sessions with respect to this will be conducted. Okay, while loop. What is while loop? So if number of iterations are not known in advance, then we go for the while. Okay. For example, see, it does not mean that if you know the number of iterations, you cannot use while loop. Never. You can use while loop if the number of iterations are known. But generally, let's say you have to execute a code and you don't know like how many times you have to execute. For example, you are asking the password from the user. Okay, and if user enters the incorrect password, so you will keep on asking indefinitely until and unless he enters the correct password. So you can use while loop, you cannot use for loop in that case. Yes, if you want to give the user only 5 attempts, or let's say 9 attempts or 10 attempts, then you can use for loop, and you can use while loop also in that case. But when it comes to the indefinite, you don't know how many times user will attempt that, so you can go for the while loop. Okay, so in that case, so we have to understand that what is the syntax of the for loop and while loop. So in the case of for loop, first of all, we write for variable in and some iterable. Okay, write the code here. Okay, so whatever is the length of the iterable, let's say iterable is any object that implements iter method. Okay, iterable is any object which implements iter method. Which implements iter method. So if any object is implementing iter method, we can say it is an iterable object, right? For example, let's say list, tuple, string, dictionary. Okay, then we have set, frozen set. Okay, then we have bytes, byte arrays, not required, enumerate. Okay, zip, filter, map. They all are the iterable object. You can pass any kind of object. So any object which is having more than one element together, you can use it as an iterable object. Numbers are not the iterable object, remember. Okay, if you want to check which object is iterable, you can simply write here print dir of, let's say, list. You will see that you have the iter method implemented here, right? You will see in the list method you have iter method somewhere. Iter method, right? So if iter method you find in any object, it is an iterable object. List str iter method is available somewhere, you will find it. Iter method, right? If you will write dictionary, dictionary is also an iterable object because you have the iter method, right? So if you will write set, set is also an iterable object because you have the iter method. So if you will write int, int is not an iterable object because you don't have iter method. You will not find iter method. You'll write complex. Complex is not having any iter object, iter method. So it is not an iterable object, right? Okay. So if you want to identify which object is iterable object, you can probably use this dir function to find whether it is implementing iter method or not. If it is implementing iter method, you can say it is an iterable. Then you can run the loop over it easily. Okay. So let's say what if I'll run the loop on the string? So if I'll be writing here, let's say Python. So how this loop runs internally, it will pick one element from the string. First, I will become P, then it will print I. Then I will become Y, it will print Y. Then I will become T, it will print T. Then I will become H, and then it will print H. And so on, until unless all the elements are exhausted. So when you will execute this, you will get Python. Letter by letter, it is printing. You can do further operation. Let's say if you want to write print I into 2, print I into 3. Okay, so you are repeating this and then a new line. So you can do this one also. First I is P, so it is printing I, which is P. Then it is printing I into 2, that is P printed twice. Then I into 3, that is P printed thrice. And then a new line. So a new line is printed. Then again we are going back to the loop. I becomes Y, so it prints Y. Then Y printed 2 times. Then Y printed 3 times, and then new line. Then going back to the loop, I becomes T, so T 2 times, T 3 times, and new line, and so on. Right? So what we can understand from this is that every time when we are executing this code, I is picking one element from this iterable object and it is executing the code written inside this, right? So if you will do this, you can do it on the list also. List is also an iterable object, correct? So you can write 10, 20, 30, 40, and then you just write here I, print I into 2, print I into 3, and then print a new line. Execute this, you will be getting the same result. Similarly, you can run the loop on the list also. Tuple also. So in the case of tuple, same thing will happen because that is also an iterable object and similar to the list. So execute this, same thing. You can run the loop on the dictionary also, but the thing what will happen in the dictionary that it will iterate over the keys. Okay, it will iterate over the keys, it will not iterate over the values. So for example, let's say we have a dictionary here. So we have 1 colon and 10, 2 colon 20, 3 colon 30, and 4 colon 40. So if you will execute this, so what it will do, it will iterate over each key. So I is first time one, this is key value pair, right? Yesterday we have seen the dictionary. It is a key value pair, and first element is key, second element is value. And this is called one element, right? Or one item. In this one item, you have key and value. So 1 is key, 2 is key, 3 is key, and 4 is key. So I becoming 1, printing I, then 1 into 2, 2, then 1 into 3, 3, and then new line. Then I becomes 2, 2, 2 into 2, 4, and then 2 into 3, 6, and then new line. Then I becomes 3, 3, 3 into 2, 3 into 3. And then I becomes 4, 4, 4 into 2, 4 into 3, and new line. So this way, this loop will be executed on list and dictionary. If you want to do this operation on the values inside the dictionary, then you can do one thing. You can assign this to a dictionary. D is equal to this dictionary. You can write I in D, and then you can execute this code. Okay, so you will be printing D of I. Okay, then D of I, then D of I. Execute this. We are getting these all operations. If you will not write print, then there will be no gap in after every output, so you will not be able to differentiate actually, right? You are getting it continuous, right? So I'm just to differentiate each iteration, I'm just writing the simple print function. Clear? So this is about the how you can iterate over the dictionary. Similarly, you can iterate over the set. So let's say if you'll be writing for I in set 1 colon 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 10 comma 100 comma 20 comma 200, and let's print I. Okay, execute this. It is printing the elements one by one, right? Clear, everyone? Any question? You can use any one of them. Okay. Yesterday we have discussed where we have to use single quotation, where we have to use double quotation. There is no difference between single quotation and double quotation, basically. Okay. So if we provide two lists in loop like x and y and print x into y, that is the nested loop. So you can use here for I in 10, 20, and then for j in 1, 2, right? 1, 2, and then print x into y or I into j. So execute this, you are going to get this. Okay. So first of all, what? So execute this now. I will be 10, right? When I is 10, we will be coming inside this loop. J will be what? J is equal to 1. Then print I into j. So I into j will be what? I into j, it is going to print 10 into 1, that is 10, right? So it will print 10 as the output. Then we are still into the inner loop, so j will become 2. So 10 into 2, it will print 20. So 20. Okay. Then, so inner loop is exhausted. So we will come out of the loop and I will become 20. So here it will become 20. And j will become again 1. So 20 into 1 result will be 20. So 20 will be printed. Then j will become 2. So this will become 20 into 2, 40. So 40 will be printed. Then inner loop is exhausted. Outer loop is exhausted. We will exit out of the loop. Right. Not possible, Vinny, in this class, not the scope of this class. See, we have started with the loop, then we'll be doing few problems on the loop. So it will be end for today. Next session, probably we will do one function. Okay, then we will complete it there. Okay. Yeah. So this is about the for loop, right? We have seen that how we can iterate over the loop. Now, let's say while loop, syntax of while loop. Syntax of while loop. Okay. So in the while loop, what we use, first of all, we do the initialization. Okay. Then we do the condition checking. Okay. And then we do the increment or decrement. Okay. So what we will do, we will write here, let's say we yes, you can take two variable provided that the elements you have are having two values at a time. For example, let's say if you will take something like this 1, 2, then probably you can take. Okay, so then you will be taking, let's say I, x, and if you'll be printing I and then print x, so it will be printing you this values, right? Okay. Clear? Okay, so syntax of while loop is what? So we have to first do the initialization, condition checking, and increment and decrement. So let's say if I want to execute a code 10 times, for example, or let's say if I want to print, we have my underscore str 1 is equal to Python. Okay, so if I want to print this p y t h o n, okay, I want to print this. Okay, so what we'll be doing, we'll be running the loop again. You can do it using for loop, you can do it using while loop also. So I know that this element is indexed from 0 to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is repeated one extra than the index in its one extra than its own index, right? So if this index of p is 0, so it is repeated one time. Index of y is 1, so it is repeated 2 times, and so on. So I'll be taking one variable called int is equal to 0, and then I need to iterate till the end. So I'll be writing while int is less than length of my underscore str1. Okay. Right. Now, if I'll be printing int, it will be keep on printing 0. Sorry. It will keep on printing. It will keep on printing 0. Why? See, I have initialized int with 0. 0 less than 6, it is true, right? So it is printing 0. Then going back to the loop, int is still 0. 0 less than 6, it is still true, printing 0. Then int is still 0. Going back to the loop, it is checking, it is again true. So it is printing int as 0. So it depends. There is no such limit that how many variables you can take. Okay. So if you have list something like this, let's say if you have 10, 20, 30, and here you have 1, 2, 3, you can take 3 variables then. Okay. This is the concept of tuple unpacking or list unpacking. You are just unpacking the values in 3 variables, nothing else. There's no such limit that how many values you can take. Okay. So the provided that value should be to this format. If you'll be having, let's say if you'll be having only 2 values here, and then if you'll try to do this, so let's stop this, execute this, you will find the error here. Not enough values to unpack, right? So you are trying to unpack 3 values, but you have only 2 values here to unpack, right? Okay, fine. So I hope this is clear. Next, what we have, let's say in this one. So if we are writing here, so basically every time int is becoming 0, right? It is 0. So we have to increment int by 1. So we'll be writing int plus equal to 1. Execute some. So what basically we are doing, we need to do this increment or decrement so that this condition will be false somewhere. If this condition will not be false, then it will be an infinite loop and then it will never stop. So you should not write that kind of conditions, or at least you should provide one point where you should exit the loop. So now if you will execute this code, so what you will find, you will see that this code is executed and giving you all the numbers from 0 to 5. I don't want to do that. I want to get this output. So what I can do, I can write int of my underscore str1, right? And I have to repeat it every time by what? So whatever is the index plus 1 time, right? So I'll be writing here this, execute this, and then I'll be getting this out. Right? Clear? So what we have done,
First, we are checking int is 0, 0 less than 5, 0 less than 6, it is true. So my string 1 of 0 plus into 0 plus 1, that is 1. So p into 1, it is repeated one time. int is incremented by 1, int becomes 1. 1 less than 6, true. My string of 1 is y into 2, 1 plus 1, 2, y is repeated 2 times. Then int becomes 2, 2 less than 6. My string of 2 is t, 2 plus 1, 3. So t is repeated 3 times and so on. Correct? Fine. Now you can use, as I said, while loop can be used to write the code which requires the infinite iteration. For example, let's say guess a number and ask user to re-enter the number until he enters the correct or until he does the correct guess. Correct. So let's say correct guess is what? Correct underscore guess is equal to 99. Okay. Then I'll ask the user to enter the user input. User underscore input is equal to int input gets a number, right? User will guess a number. So I have to give the user infinite times to guess, right? So I'll be writing while true. So see, here the condition we are writing, that should be evaluated either as true or false. If it is evaluated as true, then this code will be executed. And if it is evaluated as false, then this code will not be executed. So I'm writing true. It means it will never be false and it will always be executed. So here I'll be writing one code if, let's say, user underscore input equal to correct guess. If that is the case, then I will be printing correct guess, okay, and break. Break is important here. Otherwise, what I'll be doing, I'll be writing print incorrect guess, and I'll be asking the user to please guess the number again. Okay, so user will enter the guess the number again. So I'll be writing this. Okay, now so let's execute this. If I will execute this code, so let's say if I'll enter the number 8, incorrect guess 78, incorrect guess 77, incorrect guess 98, incorrect guess 90, incorrect guess 99, it is a correct guess. Okay, so it exited the application. Now here you have the importance of break. What is this break? So break is a statement which exits the loop immediately. If this break is executed, it will not execute any code inside the loop. This all code is inside the loop. None of the single line of code will be executed as soon as break statement will be executed. So I've written this over here. So let's say user enters any number apart from 99. So this condition is false. So it is not coming to this. It is coming to this and asking for the number again. You are entering the number, going back to the loop, and it is again checking this. Not a correct guess. So it is printing this. Then again taking the number. It is going back to the loop, checking this condition, not correct guess. So it is executing this. Let's say last time you enter correct guess 99. So going back to the loop, user input is correct, which is 99 equal to 99. So it is printing correct guess and breaking the loop. As soon as it breaks the loop, it exits the loop. So remember, break statement is always used to exit the loop. Clear, everyone? While true will always be evaluated as true. So see, in the case of while condition, okay, or for, it is going and picking one element every time. Whereas in this while condition, you are writing the condition, right? And this condition has always been evaluated as true if you want this code to be executed. And at the end, when int becomes 6, this condition is false. It is not less than 6. So it is not executing this. So it is not executing any code inside the loop. Here, while true is an infinite loop because the condition will always be true. We don't have do while loop in this, Marvin. Okay. So this condition will always be true. It is never going to be false. That's why we have written this condition, that if this condition is satisfied, then break this loop. Otherwise, this will become infinite loop. Again. Okay, Benny? We don't have the do while concept or do while loop in Python. We don't have switch case in Python. Okay. Fine, everyone. Any question? Okay. Yes, continue we have. Continue we have. So let's say we have a LST underscore salary. Okay. LST underscore salary is, let's say, 20,000, then 50,000, then 1,50,000, then 1 lakh, then we have 90,000, then 99,000, then 1,27,000. Go to is not there. Push. How last line is executed? So nothing. See, let's say you entered here 77. This condition is true. This condition is false. So it is coming here, printing. Then it is asking to enter the number again, right? You entered 98. So user input is now 98, going back to the loop. While loop means it will come back to the loop again and again unless you exit it. Okay, so you'll be coming back to the loop. User input is 98, equal to 99. This is false. It is coming here. Incorrect guess. So printing this, and then user input again, it is asking for the number. Enter the number. Let's say this time you enter 77. Going back, 77 equal to 99. This is false. So it is printing correct guess. Sorry, it is false. So it is coming to S block. Incorrect guess. Please guess the number again, and then it is asking for the number again. So you entered 99 this time. Going back to the loop, user input is 99. This is correct. Printing correct guess and breaking the loop. So it exits the loop. Okay. Kushal? Kushal, everything is Kushal? Okay. 27,000. So this is the list of salaries we are having, right? Of the employees in our organization. What I want to do is, I want you guys to write a code. So what basically we want to do, if the salary is more than 1 lakh, okay, we don't want to do anything. But if the salary is more than less than 1 lakh, then you will be giving a bonus of 5,000. Okay, some bonus of 5,000. Okay, so if the salary is more than 1 lakh, then you are not going to do anything. You are going to skip that iteration. Remember, break is used to break the loop immediately. It will not execute any code after this. But continue will skip the current iteration. Okay, break is used to break the loop immediately. Okay, and continue is used to skip the current iteration. Okay, fine. So skip the current iteration means what? So if we will check if the amount is greater than 1 lakh, greater than or equal to 1 lakh, we will not do anything. So we are trying to skip that iteration. But after that, we have 90,000. We have to process this information, right? We have to give 5,000 bonus to this guy. So we cannot skip that. So we cannot use break in that case. We'll be using continue. So let's see for I in LST underscore salary. Okay, I'll be checking if, or let me write here salary. If salary is greater than and equal to 1 lakh, right? Then I will write here continue. Don't do anything. It is an instruction. Okay. Otherwise, what you are going to do, you are going to do the salary for this month is sal and bonus is 5,000, right? We'll write here F. Clear. Print F. So the total amount credited is plus 5,000. Okay. F stands for formatting, Miller. Just now I said. Execute this. See, if the salary is less than 1 lakh, so it is printing salary is 20,000, bonus is 5,000, total is 25,000, 55,000, 95,000. So 99,000 plus 5,000, 1 lakh 4,000, and 27,000 plus 5,000, 32,000. Okay. So you got this, right? Clear? So what it is doing in the continue. So let's say when salary is 20,000, this condition is false. It is executing this code. When salary is 50,000, this code is false. It is executing this code. When salary is 1,50,000, this condition is true. So it is continue. Continue means it is not going to execute any code after this. It will go back to the loop and pick the next element. Salary is again 1 lakh. So it is greater than or equal to 1 lakh. This condition is true. So it will continue again. Since it will continue, so it will go back to the loop. Break is exiting the loop. If you will break the loop, then what will happen? If you will break the loop, then it will print only for these two values, 20,000 and 50,000. That's it. It is not going to print for rest of the values. But we don't want to, because after this you may have billions of employees, trillions of, not trillion, but yes, millions of employees or probably thousands of employees after that. You will not send bonus to them. So you have to continue here. Okay, instead of break. So if you continue, then that particular iteration where the salary is more than or equal to 1 lakh, that will be skipped. Apart from that, it will be transferred to all of them. Clear? Fine, everyone. So break and continue is clear, everyone. Okay. So now what I want to do is let's try a few problems, right? Okay. So I have my underscore st 1 minute. So try these 3 questions using loop concept. Okay, don't use any method, use only loop. Try these 3 questions. This is the string, and this is the output 1, output 2, and output 3. Okay, try these 3 questions. I have given the question in the chat box. Try this 3. Using loop, you have to try. Don't use any method, built-in method. You can use slicing, basic operation, concatenation, repetition, and all, but don't use. You can use slicing. Slicing means, in the loop concept. Don't use directly slicing. So otherwise, it does not require probably more than 1 line. Okay, so let's see this. Let's see the solution, how we're going to do this. So first of all, what we need to access these elements from the back side, right? So can anyone tell me what will be the index of this last one? It will be -1, right? And what will be the index of this first one? It will be 0. So what I'll be writing here, I'll be writing, if I want to access this element from the end, so I can do it. I can do this program in 2 ways. So for example, let's say I'll be writing here resultant underscore str is equal to empty string, right? Then for I in my underscore str1, okay, I'll be writing here resultant underscore str equal to I plus resultant underscore str. Okay, print resultant underscore str. Execute this. We have got this, right? Very simple. Let's see how this code is executed. So first of all, I will be what? I is going to be, when I is P and your resultant string is what? Resultant string is empty string, right? So what you have written, this operation. What is this operation? You are going to write here resultant string is equal to IP plus empty string. That is resultant string is going to become P, right? Okay.
So let me write this operation so that we will understand what exactly we are doing now. So basically this operation we are going to do every time. Next time I will become E. So your resultant string is P now, and resultant string is P. So we are writing E plus P. So it will become EP, right? Then next time, so this has become EP. Now next time I will become T, correct? So your resultant string is EP. This is EP plus T. So TEP, right? You will get TEP, correct? Fine. Now next we will get E. So I plus resultant string, that is E plus TEP. So you'll get ETEP, ETEP. Then I will become R. So R plus ETEP, it will become RETEP in the reverse order. Now you can see you are getting everything in the reverse order. Then you will get a space character. After Peter, you'll get a space character. So space plus resultant string. So here you'll get a space, here also you'll get a space, right? Then this will become P. So you are getting everything now in the reverse order because of this operation. Clear, everyone? Fine, guys. Any question? Is it clear? Okay. So try the second one. Try the second one. अच्छा सब ऊपर से गया अंदर कुछ नहीं गया. Let's try this, huh? Use this one, huh? Use this tool, that is quite useful. See, when I'm going to execute, just observe these steps, okay? First of all, my string one is this one. Then resultant string is the empty string, because in that I have declared an empty string, because in that I want to store the result. So when you will run the loop, I will become first letter P, right? I becomes P. Then when you will do this operation, so first of all, this operation will be done. I is what? P plus resultant string is what? Resultant string is empty string, right? So it will become P plus empty string, that is P. So resultant string will become P, right? Okay. Then next time I will become next character E. It fetches one character at a time, right? So I will become E. I become C. Then you have I is E plus resultant string P. So E plus P, it will become EP. So resultant string will become what? EP. EP. Then going back, I will become T. I becomes T. Then you have T plus EP, it becomes TEP, right? So it will be assigned to resultant string, that is TEP, right? Then I will become E again. I become C. So E plus TEP, it is going to become ETEP, right? ETEP. Then I will become R. So every time it is picking one element and then it is adding it in the beginning of the resultant string. So basically you are getting every letter in the reverse order, correct? So we have got Peter. Then I will become a space character. It becomes a space. So space will be concatenated with resultant string. So space plus resultant string, that is space Peter in the reverse order. You have got this. Then what we have? Then I will become what? I will become P. So this P will be added in the beginning. So we'll get P space Peter in the reverse order. Then I will become I. So I will be concatenated in the beginning again. So IP space this one. Then I will become P again. So pip space this. Then E will become in the beginning. E will be concatenated in the beginning. So you have E pip space Peter in the reverse order. Then you have got Piper in the reverse order. So it will keep on doing these things until unless you'll reach till the end of this list. Sorry, this string. Okay. You can do this way. There is another way. You can do it using range function. You know that this string, let's say you have a my underscore str is equal to Python, right? So you have positive index. If you will write my underscore str1, str of 0, okay, of 1, of 2, of 3, of 4, and of 5. So it is going to access one character at a time, Python, right? This is the positive index. So at 0 index we have P, at 1 index we have Y, at 2 index we have T, at 3 index we have H, at 4 index we have O, and 5 index we have N, Python. So if you want to access these values in the reverse order, then you have to start from -1, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. You will access it in the reverse order. This is forward direction, this is backward direction. So you'll be writing see, in the forward direction you have Python, and in the backward direction you have NOSTYP in the reverse order. So you have negative index. Basically, see, positive index starts from 0 from left hand side. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have negative index starts from right to left. So this is at -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So it is from right to left. Okay. So now if you want to access this element, you can easily access these elements using range function. No. So let's say you want to generate a sequence of number from -1 to -6. What you can do? You can write the range -1, comma, -7, comma, -1. And right here list, execute this. It will be generating the sequence from -1 to -6. So if you want to access these elements in the reverse order, okay, so you can write for I in this one, and then you can write print my underscore str of I. Execute this, you are getting Python in the reverse order. So can't you do the same thing in this one also? Here also you can do the same thing. So you have to access this from the reverse direction, right? So you will be writing for I in range -1, comma. You have to come here till here, right? So what is the index of this? It will be minus of length of my underscore str, but you have to give one index extra, comma, -1. This is step size. Print. It has generated the index of. It has generated the index of starting from -1 till -44. So this S is at -1 and this S is at -4. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, and so on till -44. Okay. So if you want to get these elements, so you can simply do this way. Print my underscore str1 of I. You will be able to fetch this element in the reverse order, right? You can see these all are coming in the reverse order, but you want in a string format, right? So you will be taking one result underscore str is equal to empty string. And instead of printing it, you are going to write it like this. Result underscore str plus equal to my underscore str of I. Let's print resultant string at the end. Okay, execute this. Underscore str1. You'll get this in the reverse order. Same thing, but using negative index. So we are generating this index in the reverse direction, right? So first it will take -1, this letter, it will concatenate to resultant string. Then it will take -2, then it will concatenate to resultant string. Then it will take -3, then it will concatenate to resultant string, and so on. So this is basically equal to resultant underscore str plus this. Okay, you will get the same result. Fine. Clear? So copy this code. This note will be shared. Copy this code and paste it into the Python tutor, run at home, and you will be able to understand it. Let's give me the solution to you guys for the second and third question, and then we will be ending this session, right?
So let me write the solution for second and third question. So for second question, what we need, see, we need every word to be reversed. We can do it in one line. Actually, we can do this one in one line. Just use colon -1. But here also we can do it in one line. So what we will be doing, we'll be writing my underscore. This is the first one, right? So instead of that, what we are going to write here, my underscore str1, we need to reverse this every word, right? So what we'll be writing, my underscore str1 colon -1. We have got this, right? Then we'll be using dot split. Okay, so we have got this. Then we'll be using colon -1. You'll be getting this, and then you will be joining this join dot with the space character. Execute this, we are getting the output, right? I will share it. Okay, so what is this? My string colon -1. Okay, so this my string colon -1 is going to give you what? It is going to give you this output, right? So it has reversed the whole string, right? Then this split method, dot split method does what? Split method splits a string from the space character and returns a list of words. Okay, so execute this, we are getting a list of words. After reversing it, we are getting a list of words. Okay. Fine. Once you have got this, then what we need to do? See, we need this Peter in the beginning and this Peppers in the end, right? In the output, we have got the reverse word, right? We have got the reverse word, but we want to reverse this list. So to reverse this list, we'll be writing colon -1. We have got this reverse list, right? Okay, fine. Now we need to join this list of words, right? So when you will join this list of words, there is a join method. Simple, use this join and dot a space character. You are joining with a space character. You got this. Okay. So when we will write this colon -1, okay, so you will be getting the reverse of this string. Okay, so you can apply this colon -1 on any sequence type, right? So this is a string type. When you apply this, so this string will get reversed. Let's say you have a list. LST is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So now if I'll be writing LST colon -1, LST colon -1, execute this, you will get this list reversed, right? So colon -1 is going to reverse the object. So it will work only on the sequence type. String is a sequence, list is a sequence, tuple is a sequence. No, you cannot reverse a integer, right? Integer is not a sequence. Okay, fine.